Hello, my name's Becca and I have put together a short sequence for all of our amazing key workers that have kept our communities thriving throughout the COVID-19 crisis. The aim of the video is to help you find a little bit of joy, breathe a bit deeper, find space in the body and relieve tension from the mind. So I've incorporated some of my techniques that I use with my clients in my acupressure and shiatsu sessions. So it's similar to acupuncture, but we don't use needles, we just use our hands along pressure points to help relieve tension in the mind. There's some yogic stretches in there, a little bit of shaking the stress out. So give it a go. I hope that you enjoy, I hope that it helps you, and I'd love to hear your feedback, if it did or if it didn't, on either my Instagram or Facebook. You can find me at Holistically Becca. Thank you so much for everything you do and have a wonderful day. I hope to see you soon. So let's start by grounding ourselves. If you can, take off your shoes and then take your feet hip distance apart. Spread out your toes and then close the eyes. Let yourself settle into your feet. So feeling your feet on the ground, maybe just rocking your weight all around the feet, all four corners. Allowing the full weight of your body to drop down into the earth. So feeling that sense of gravity drawing you down into the earth. And allowing yourself to settle. Notice how the body's feeling as you stand. Areas of tension and tightness, congestion. And then again, focusing in on your feet. Press your feet firmly into the ground. Really feeling that contact, that grounding force of the earth drawing you in towards her. And then let's take a big breath in. And a big sighing exhalation out. And then opening the eyes. Take another big breath in and take your hands up to the sky. And as you exhale, sigh out and drop the arms. Let's do that again. Press into your feet, take a breath in, take your hands up to the sky, stretch up. And as you exhale, sigh out, flop down. One more time. Pressing into your feet, grounding yourself down. Inhale, take the hands up. And as you exhale, flop down. Make a sound if that feels good. Sometimes it lets a little bit more stress out when we make a noise out of the mouth. So we're going to come into a little bit of a twist just to relieve some of the tension in the body. So the feet may be a bit wider than hip distance apart. Try to keep your legs facing forwards, and then we're just going to twist from the waist. Keep the eyes open now so that you don't get too dizzy. So looking behind you, let the arms be really floppy. And then come into as big a twist as you like. Make sure there's nothing around you so that you don't whack your fingertips. Your arms can be as heavy as possible to allow them to kind of whack against the side of your body. Starting to open up the space around the shoulder blades. Maybe you can feel that. So the space between the shoulder blades and your spine often get really tense when you're stressed. This is a great way to start to relieve that tension, opening up space and helping you to breathe a little bit deeper. So see if you can take some bigger breaths as you twist. Maybe sighing the exhalation out again. Let's do 2 more big breaths as we twist. Maybe taking the twist a bit deeper, a bit more vigorous, giving yourself a bit more of a whack on the shoulders. Last breath. And then slowly unraveling yourself from the twist. Coming back to stillness. Pressing your feet into the ground, just checking in with if you feel dizzy. If you don't, you could close the eyes and just feel the tingling sensation in your upper body. And breathe. And then taking a loose fist, start to give yourself a little bit of a whack on the front of your chest. So in Chinese medicine, we work on the meridian pathway. So these are the kind of energy lines that are attached to the organs and allow the energy of that organ to flow through the body. So this is the lung meridian or the lung energy line. So you can take that whack all the way down the arm towards your thumb. So the inside edge of the arm, where the lighter flesh meets the darker, all the way down to the thumb where that meridian ends, and then up the index finger, up the other side of the arm, along the large intestine meridian. That's the pair of the lung. So the lung brings in the new vitality and the large intestine lets go of the old. Let's do that one more time. So if this energy stuff or meridians doesn't make much sense to you, then don't worry. You're still getting a nice bit of circulation moving through the upper part of the body, relieving tension at the top of the shoulders. So give yourself a good old whack there. And then come over to the other side. So the front of the chest, this is a practice I used to do as an asthmatic child to help dislodge some of the congestion in the chest. It's really useful as a physical practice as well as an energetic one. And then taking the fists down the inside edge of the arm down to the thumb, where that lung meridian ends, and then up the large intestine. The large intestine lets go. We can't bring in the new without letting go of the old. So that's why these two organs are paired up in Chinese medicine, in Eastern medicine. And then whack onto the top of the shoulders before coming back along that arm again. One more time along the lung meridian to the thumb, up the index finger, the outside of the arm to the top of the shoulder. Good old whack, right in those places that get really sore. And then release. Give the arms a bit of a shake out. So shaking the tips of the fingers, almost like you're trying to get some water or liquid off the tips of the fingers. Just isolating the movement from the wrist to start off with. And then from the elbow down, so the whole of the lower arm, give it a good old shake. And then from the shoulders down, so shaking out all of the arms, and then maybe the whole of the upper body. Let yourself exhale fully, shaking yourself out, and then release. Just notice those tingling sensations in the arms, in the chest. And then we're going to find our first pressure point. So this is called large intestine 4. Don't worry about the name. It's in that part that you might have often squeezed. It gets a little bit sore, this muscle in between the thumb and the second finger. So just squish around in that muscly part. And then right up against the edge of this index finger bone, right in that hole, that depression, you can find a bit of a tender point. This is a great point for relieving headaches and helping to calm the mind. So find that point, and I'll put some links up so that you can see exactly where it is if you're finding it tricky to find it. If you're finding it tricky, just press into that squidgy bit in between the thumb and the index finger. And then take the hands up high, keep pressing into that point. Pressing your feet back into the ground, take a big breath in and reach up. And then exhale over to one side, stretching through the side of the body. Press into both of your feet and see if you can stretch yourself a little bit taller. And as you exhale, maybe coming over a little bit deeper. If it feels sore, then you've gone too far. Keep pressing your feet into the mat. You don't have to go so far. You can maybe just focus on making some space between your lower ribs and your hips, so the waist. And breathing deep. One more big breath. And as you exhale, wave yourself back center. As you inhale, take the hands up high. And as you exhale, flop them down. Let's find the other side. So squishing into that bit, that muscle between the thumb and the index finger on the other hand. So all the points and the meridians are on both sides of the body. And then once you've found a tender part, then lift up your hands Press into your feet. Take a big breath in. Reach up. And as you exhale, come over to the side. So pressing into both of your feet. See how much length you can create through your spine. And as you exhale, maybe coming a little bit deeper. Pressing into the feet. Make as much space as you can between your lower ribs and your hip. One more breath. As you exhale, wave yourself back to center. As you inhale, take both hands up high. And as you exhale, drop the arms. Okay. So then taking the hands, interlacing the mat in front of you. Take your feet even wider, press them firmly into the mat. And then take a big breath in, extend your hands all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, drop your whole body weight down and sigh the breath out. As you inhale, come back up. Once again, lift yourself high. And as you exhale, drop down. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Instead of dropping them behind you, this time take them all the way down to the side of the body. And then bring your feet about hip distance together once again. Interlace your fingers behind your back, or if that's not comfortable, take a belt between your hands. And then bending your knees as deeply as you need to. We're coming into a forward fold. So bend the knees. This isn't about coming into a big hamstring stretch and touching your toes. This is opening up that lung meridian, so the chest and the back of the legs. Lengthening the spine. Drop your head down towards the ground. Lift your hands towards the sky. So if your shoulders are really tight, again, a belt between the hands really helps you to take the hands a little bit higher and stretch out the front of the chest a bit more. So once you get down to a comfortable position, drop your head, so make sure the head is heavy, and take a big breath in. As you exhale, sigh the breath out of the mouth. Let's do this 3 more times together. Remember, as you sigh out, it might help to make a sound, relieving the stress and tension from the mind. Last breath. Let your hands release down onto your lower back, and then drop your hands down to the ground. Bend your knees as much as you need to do that, and then come down onto the ground, onto the mat if you have one, otherwise onto the floor. And just take a moment to settle in a comfortable position. So on your knees, you could even sit on a chair, you don't have to be on the floor. We're going to work with some pressure points on the face to help to calm the mind. So taking both of your thumbs, and then find the inside edge of your eye socket. So the top inside edge. It's a place that you might just have found yourself going like this a little bit when you're feeling a bit stressed. There's 2 great pressure points here. So feel around against the edge of that eye socket bone for a little bit of a tender point. Again, I will add some links to show you exactly where these points are. And then once you've found the tender part, you can just allow the weight of your head to drop down into your thumbs. You don't have to force or push anything, just let your head drop down. You should feel a little bit of, maybe not tension, that's not quite the right word, but it's just a little bit tender, perhaps a tiny bit sore. It will be different on everybody. And then just allow yourself to breathe here. Relaxing the shoulders. Take another couple of breaths. Allow them to be deep. And then lifting the head. Finding the index fingers. And then taking the index fingers just above the middle of your eyebrows. So there's a tiny little dip there. It's quite small and subtle, so you might not notice it. But again, it's a little bit of a tender point. For me, it's right in front of where my pupils are if I'm looking forwards. So right in the middle of the eyebrow, just above. If you can't find it, maybe just put the tips of all three of your middle fingers on top of the eyebrow, and then let the weight of your head drop down onto your fingertips. And then breathe. So you could focus the breath going into that place where you feel the tension. Breathing some space into the head. Breathing some space into the lungs. Two more breaths here. So you can hold these pressure points for as long as you like. And let me show you the last one. So maybe giving yourself a little bit of an eyebrow massage. Rubbing your fingertips across the top line of the eyebrow where those points are. And there's another lovely point right to the edge of the eyebrow. So around where the temples are. So give yourself a little bit of a temple rub. Pretend the fingers are somebody else giving you a massage. Just give yourself some love and compassion. It's so rare that we give ourselves the time to do things like this. Relieving some of the tension from the sides of the head. Okay. And then the last point, right to the outer edge of the corners of the nostrils. Again, there's two little dips. These are points that are attached to the large intestine meridian. So they help with letting go, relieving tension from the mind, making space for us to breathe, take in the new, make space in the head. So again, maybe it feels a little bit tender. You could just press your fingers into those points and then allow your head to drop down into the support of your fingers. And breathe. The simple act of sitting quietly and focusing in on your breath helps to calm the mind. So even if you're not sure about these pressure points, practicing this still breathing is a great way to help you relieve stress and just take some time for yourself. So a few more breaths here. And then release, so allowing the head to float up, closing the eyes. Take your hands to a comfortable position and just allow yourself to settle in your seat, wherever you are, on a chair or on the floor. Let your shoulders drop. Notice if you can breathe through your nostrils a little bit more easily now that we've opened up those pathways. And then taking your hands onto your lower belly, one hand on top of the other. Feel that warmth, that compassionate touch of your hands on the belly. And allow yourself to direct a few deep flowing breaths into that space, right into the depths of the lower belly. Full exhalations, maybe sighing the breath out, maybe making a sound. Full inhalations, feeling the expansion of your lungs opening up. Exhaling to sigh the breath out and allow the shoulders to be completely relaxed. The head grows tall. And with that space you create with a full exhalation, maybe you can just take a deeper breath in. New vitality, fresh air. Take one more breath like this together. releasing the hands. Checking in with how you feel after this short practice. Noticing if there's been any change. And then gently opening the eyes. So there's lots going on here. There's so much more that we could do. But I hope that this short practice will just allow you to find a little bit of space in your body, in your mind, so that you can feel good. You deserve it. If you would like to know more about these practices, then you can follow me on this channel or find me at Holistically Becca on Facebook or Instagram for more videos and updates on the work that I do. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for everything that you do. Have a great rest of your day.